Captain America Brave New World has the MCU's third biggest second weekend drop. That's brutal. First weekend's box office usually reflects how well the marketing did. Second weekend's box office usually reflects the quality of the film. So word of mouth or repeat viewings. That has a big impact on weekend 2. I'm going to include spoilers in what I talk about, so if you don't want to be spoiled, go ahead and dip. If I could rename it, it'd be called Meh the Movie. That's what I felt. It's just meh. What was the reason for this movie to exist outside of the obligation to continue with the Falcon character? Usually with a movie review, you kind of want to hear a plot synopsis and stuff, but to be honest, the plot is all over the place. This movie went through production hell for a little bit, like there were reshoots and there were rewrites, and it shows really badly. Anthony Mackie, I like him. He's a good actor. I think he plays the part really well. Get this out of the way. I have no problem with Falcon being Captain America. I have no problem with Black Falcon being Captain America. I'm going to call him Captain Falcon anyway, because he's Falcon and now he's Captain America, and I think that name is funny. My problem is with the writing of the character, not with Anthony Mackie's portrayal. We've now gotten 2 projects where he's a main player. So Falcon and Winter Soldier, the TV show, and then this movie. And he hasn't changed at all. My problem with Sam Wilson's Captain America is that he doesn't stand for anything outside of being a contrarian. Does that make sense? In the entire Falcon Winter Soldier TV show and this movie, his sole purpose is basically to just challenge or argue with every authoritative figure around him. I still don't understand what values he is supposed to be living for outside of, I've got these close friends of mine and I want to take care of them. And then on top of that, the character of Sam Wilson, I'm okay with someone not having superpowers like Hawkeye, Iron Man, Green Arrow, Batman. That's totally fine. But they can't decide on what his abilities are. At least the people with no superpowers, they have a niche that they fill. Sam Wilson's just like this gelatinous blob of whatever they need him to be. Like, let's count this, shall we? So he's got Captain America's shield, there's 1. He's got Falcon's wings, there's 2. In this movie, he has vibranium armor, which he's got vibranium in the shield already, but in this one, he has Black Panther's ability to absorb kinetic energy and blast it out, like the purple energy. He does that too, so that's 3. He has a nanotech, because the Marvel MCU loves their stupid nanotech, has a nanotech helmet that comes out that looks just like Ant-Man's. So there's, what, 4? Are you Falcon? Are you Captain America? Are you Black Panther? Are you Ant-Man? Who are you? Captain Falcon Panther Man, I guess. And it seems like with this movie, they really tried to emulate the Winter Soldier, but the Russo brothers were not involved, so it just kind of comes out like a Winter Soldier from Wish. I'm just so sick to death of Sam Wilson moping around on screen about how he's not Steve Rogers. Like, we already completed that arc in the TV show Falcon and Winter Soldier. We don't have to keep readdressing that. At what point is he gonna become self-confident? Huh? At what point? Like, oh, we want you to lead the Avengers. Well, are you going to do that between crying sessions? Between sessions of sitting in your apartment listening to Three Doors Down? There's action sequences in the movie, and they're fine. Something about the cinematography to this thing made it look like a CW show to me. I'm not a film buff. I've never been professionally behind the camera, so I don't know the technical terms about like lighting and staging and all that. Just something about it while I was watching it just made it feel cheap. The whole thing looked and felt like a music video almost, like a cheap music video. Aside from General Ross, there wasn't really a character in this that I found compelling at all. They introduced some new character, some Israeli. There's been a big stink about her online. Her comic history is that she's Israeli. My problem is she's just not interesting. She serves as like a bodyguard, and that's about it. And she's just kind of there. I don't even remember her name. She's like 5 feet tall. She's tiny. I could sneeze and she'd fall over backwards. And we're supposed to believe that she's intimidating in some way? No. Sorry, couldn't be me. I don't buy it. I don't have a problem with them including her, you know, like despite all the issues in the world. Like if they brought in a character that had a traditionally Palestinian background, I don't care. Like none of that bothers me. That's irrelevant to me. I just want a good character, and this is not a good character as written in the movie. at all. So this character is boring. Captain Falcon has a sidekick. I'm sorry, this guy is just annoying. This one actually might be the actor's fault. He's just Falcon 2.0. I know he came from the TV show. I hope you guys kept up on all 50 of your Marvel projects for the last year. You're not going to know what's going on. I don't have a lot more to say on this movie. I really hope this is not actually what they're looking at as the future of leading the MCU. Anthony Mackie could do it, not with the way Sam Wilson has been written so far. He's a self-doubting, self-questioning, crybaby contrarian about everything, and that's all. That's all he does. He doesn't stand for anything other than 1960s racism was bad. Like, that's about it. Like, what other principle do you carry, my guy? They need to start shamelessly ripping off Steve Rogers more. Give him the dang serum already. If you were to watch the movie, you'll see what I mean. Every time he interacts with a government official, he makes a point to argue with what they say. Do y'all remember in Falcon and Winter Soldier, by chance, I don't know if any of y'all even saw it. It's probably been a few years now. When the main bad guys, they were the Flag Smashers. They were a group of terrorists who were like blowing up places and hurting people. And Sam Wilson, our hero, was constantly being an apologist for these terrorists. In fact, there's even a line where he says, stop calling them terrorists. And then in the last episode of the series, he's giving journalists and United States politicians a lecture, and he says the words, and you need to do better, Senator. Steve Rogers from day one was pretty clear. He doesn't like bullies. That's it. It really was as simple as that. He doesn't like bullies, and he wants people to be free. Well, governments have agendas, and agendas change. So Steve was conscious that governments could disagree with what he thought was right. Sam Wilson doesn't have that broad of an umbrella. His is already narrowly defined, where we've now had two projects that he's been a head character of, and they've both, to a degree, been about racial tensions. All right. All right. Could you make the argument that we're talking about bullies and freedoms? Yes. There's nothing in his character so far that tells me he's actually willing to go anywhere and stand up to anyone. All I've seen from him is he wants to stand up to the United States government when he feels like they're doing the wrong thing, or he wants to stand up to racists. That's it. Like, broaden your horizon. All that to say, I went to go see this movie with an open mind. It was not nearly as bad as I thought it would be, but it's not good either. I only dozed off once. You know, that's better than the first Hobbit movie. If we get to 2 dozes offs, though, then there's a problem.